In this session, we shall discuss about types of diagrams. Different types of diagrams can be divided into certain aids. They are one-dimensional diagram, two-dimensional diagram, three-dimensional diagrams. So these are the various aids on which we are going to see some types of diagrams. Now the first one is one dimensional diagram or a bar diagram. So bar diagrams, one dimensional diagrams or bar diagrams, this is the first aid on which we can make some classification, or we can see some types of diagrams. So bar diagrams are the most common types of diagram, the most common types of diagram. And a bar is a thick line whose width is shown merely for attention, and they are called one dimensional, the diagram. So bar diagrams are the diagrams which are used by businessmen or the economist and other the people for analyzing the things or for representing the statistical the data. And in bar diagrams, a thick line which is used to represent the data, and the width is shown only merely for attention. And such the type of diagram is called as the bar diagram. And here only it is only the length of the bar that matters, not the width. So here only the length of the bar is to be taken into account, where where width is not considered. So therefore this is called bar diagram. The diagram is called as bar diagram because it is only the length of the bar that matters, and not the width. Now kinds or types of bar diagrams. So the bar diagrams are, the first one is that line diagrams. So line diagram is one type of the bar diagrams or one dimensional diagrams. So when the number of items is large, but the proportion between maximum and minimum is low, lines may be drawn to economize the space. So only individual or time series are represented by these diagrams. So line diagram is a diagram where when it is to be used for representing the statistical the data, and when the number of items is large. When number of items is large, but the proportion between maximum and minimum is low, in such a case that lines may be drawn to economize the space. Only the individual or time series are represented by these diagrams. So this is an example uh, given here. So here on x-axis we are showing different years on which different the productions which are shown on y-axis. So in the year 2005, the production of wheat as well as rice are shown. Therefore the productions of rice and wheat are shown in different years on the x-axis. So this is the way in which we are going to represent the data by using line diagram. And a number of when this type of this type of the diagram which is used when number of items is large, but the proportion between maximum and minimum is low. so rice and wheat. So by plotting the points, and line is to be dragon. Now, simple bar diagrams. Simple bar diagrams. This is another the type of uh, one-dimensional diagram or bar diagram. So, as the name suggests that the bar simple bar diagram. A simple bar diagram is used to represent only one variable. So only one variable is to be represented by using such a type of the diagram. For example, figures of sales, figures of sales, production, etc. of various years may be shown by means of simple bar diagram. The bars are of equal width, only the length which varies. So these diagrams are appropriate in case of individual series and discrete series, and also in time series. So therefore, simple bar diagram is a diagram which is used to represent only one variable. So for example, the variable like figures of sales or the figures of production. So this is an example which is quoted here. The cropping pattern in Tamil Nadu in the year 1974 to 75. This data is to be represented by using simple bar diagram. So only the figures of the crops, different crops, only the crops, different crops in Tamil Nadu, which is in from the year 1974 to 75, which is shown. So cereals, oil seeds, pulses, cotton, and others, the different the crops are grown. uh, so different crops or different crops which are grown in differently. So cereals, 3000, nearly 4000 hectares, 4000, 4000, and oil seeds, nearly 1000 pulses, nearly, and cotton and other things which are grown. So here only one set of the data is to be shown by using simple bar diagram. Only the length of the only the length of the diagram is to be considered. Width is same. Now, multiple bar diagrams. So multiple bar diagram is another the type of one dimensional the diagram or the bar diagrams. So in a multiple bar diagram, two or more sets of interrelated data are represented. Different shades, colors, dots are used to distinguish between the bars. So here multiple bar diagrams are the diagrams which are used to represent the statistical the data. And here in these diagrams, two or more sets of interrelated data which are represented. So for representing the data, so the different shades, different colors, and different dots are used to distinguish between the bars. So these are used to compare two or more related variables based on time and place. So here in different years, the sales, gross profit, and net profit are shown. uh, so sales, gross profit, and net profit of different years are given here in the year 1974, 75, 76, and 77. And here the different one more than one sets of the data, or two or more sets of interrelated data are represented. by using the multiple bar diagram. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ one day, so in the year 1974, so what is how much is the sales, and and what is the gross profit, and what is the net profit. So here we clearly understand that a different in a multiple bar diagram, two or more sets of interrelated data are represented. So for representing that interrelated data, two or more, so different shades, different dots or different colors have been given. So this is an example for multiple bar diagrams, sales, gross profit and net profit. So adjacently, we are representing the data in different years. So years on x-axis, and amount in rupees, which are shown on y-axis horizontal vertical line. Now subdivided bar diagram or component bar diagram. So subdivided bar diagram or a component bar diagram, another the type of one dimensional or the bar diagram. So if a bar is divided into more than one part, it will be called subdivided bar diagram. So one day, if a bar is divided into more than one parts, so one bar ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು divide different parts ಆಗಿ ನಾವು divide ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ for representing different uh, uh, the data or different the variables. So if when a bar is divided into more than one part, then it will be called subdivided bar diagram. So each component occupies a part of the uh, bar proportional to its share in the total. So for example, total expenditure incurred. So total expenditure incurred by a family on various items such as food, clothing, education, house rent, etc. can be represented by means of subdivided bar diagram. ಸೊ ಒಂದೇ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್, ಫುಡ್, ಕ್ಲಾತಿಂಗ್, ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್, ಹೌಸ್ ರೆಂಟ್, ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಒಂದೇ ಬಾರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ನಾವು ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಬ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬಾರ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ ಬಾರ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ ಬಾರ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಸೇಲ್ಸ್, ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್, ನೆಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಒಂದೇ ಬಾರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಇನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ ಆಫ್ 1974 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸೇಲ್ಸ್, ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು, ನೆಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಇಯರ್ ಆಫ್ 1975, 76, 77, ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು, ನೆಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಒಂದೇ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟನ್ನು ನಾವು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಎ ಬಾರ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಇಂಟು ಮೆನಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಬೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ the components on the base of the data given, so such a type of the diagram is called as subdivided component subdivided bar diagram or the component bar diagram. Now percentage bar or subdivided bar diagrams. So percentage bar or subdivided bar diagrams are another the type of one dimensional or bar diagrams, and here percentage subdivided bars are particularly useful to measure the relative changes of data when such diagrams are prepared. So length of the bar is kept and equal to 100, and segments are cut in these bars to represent the components of a product. So here an example which is mentioned here: draw a percentage bar diagram for the following data using the formula the percentage actual value divided by total of the actual value into 100. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ 1974 ಆ ಇಯರಲ್ಲಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು, ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು, ನೆಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಟು 100. ಸೊ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ನಂತರ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ನೆಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್. So therefore, this is the way in which we are going to represent the percentage. Subdivided bars are particularly useful to measure relative changes of the data. When such diagrams are prepared, length of the bar is kept equal to 100 and segments are cut in these bars to represent the various the components of components of the variables. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಇಯರ್ ಆಫ್ 1974 ಎಷ್ಟು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಟೋಟಲ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು, ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು, ನೆಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಎಷ್ಟು, ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್, ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್, ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ನೆಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಟು 100. ಸೊ ಇಂಟು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಟೋಟಲ್ 100 ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಆ 100ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಅಂತ ಈಚ್ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟನ್ನು ನಾವು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಂಥ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಬಾರ್ ಆರ್ ಸಬ್ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬಾರ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಆರ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಆರ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ಅಂಡರ್ ದಟ್ diagrams, if relative change of cost and sales or profit or loss are to be represented with the help of bars, then profit or loss diagram are constructed. So these diagrams are similar to percentage subdivided bars and which are prepared in the same way. So if relative change of cost and sales, so relative change of cost and sales, so cost and sales ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, so based on that we can calculate how much is profit and how much is the loss. So sales minus cost is equal to profit, and sales minus cost minus sales, or if sales exceed cost, then and we will get profit, or if cost exceeds sales, then automatically we see there is a loss. So factory x, factory y on y-x axis and y axis per unit ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಶೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿ ಎಕ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸೇಲ್ಸ್, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ವೇಜಸ್, ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್, ಮಿಸಲೇನಿಯಸ್, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಆರ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಆರ್ ಲಾಸ್. ಸೊ 40 is the profit, and 80, 120, 160 total wages and total material 120 and miscellaneous 80. So therefore total sales minus cost, or cost plus sales minus cost is equal to profit, or else cost plus profit is equal to sales. So above the line, profit which is shown on the above the line, ox above on the ox axis, and loss which is shown under the ox axis, or ox under the ox axis. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಬಂದರೆ ox axis ಮೇಲೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾವು ox axis ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ನಾವು ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಸಬ್ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬಾರ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಸೊ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. Now, directional bar diagrams. So directional bar diagrams, so this is one type of the diagram, and in which in directional bar diagram, comparative study of two major parts of data is represented. Comparative study of two major parts of the data which is represented in a directional bar diagram. So such directional diagrams are represented on both sides of horizontal axis. Horizontal axis ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, that is above and below the baseline. So here different years and variation uh, in different years are given. So minus ಇರೋದು plus minus, which is count as loss, plus which is count which we count as the profit. ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇರೋದು ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೋದು, ಮೈನಸ್ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ಓ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಓ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಲೈನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಥವಾ ಓ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಬಾರ್ಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಓ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಿಲೋ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ in a directional bar diagram, so comparative study of two major parts of the data which is represented in a single bar. Two major parts, one is a plus value and another one is the minus value. Now paired bars. So paired bars, another the type of bars, and in if two different informations which are in different units are to presented when paired bar diagram are used. So here paired bars, these are the bars in which two different informations which are in different units are to be represented. Then these are used, these bars are not vertical but horizontal, and the first scale is in the first off and second scale is in the second off. So two different informations na different, if two different informations which are in different units, different unit, item A, item B, item C, item D, item E and item F. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 1 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 2 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಬಾರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹಾರಿಸಾಂಟಲ್ ವೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಒಂದೇ ಹಾರಿಸಾಂಟಲ್ ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಬಾರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಟೂ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಸನ್ನು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾರಿಸಾಂಟಲ್ ಬಾರ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 1 ಮತ್ತು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 2 ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಐಟಮ್ ಎ, ಐಟಮ್ ಬಿ, ಐಟಮ್ ಸಿ, ಐಟಮ್ ಡಿ, ಐಟಮ್ ಇ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐಟಮ್ ಎಫ್, ಹೀಗೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾರ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಬಾರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, deviation bar diagram. So deviation bar diagram is a diagram which is popularly used for representing net quantities, that is net profit, net loss, net exports or net imports, etc. So such bars can have both positive or negative values. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ deviation bar diagram ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು it is a diagram which is popularly used for representing net quantities, that is net profit ಅಥವಾ net loss ಅಥವಾ net exports ಅಥವಾ net imports ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಬಾರ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸಚ್ ಬಾರ್ಸ್ ಕೆನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೋತ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆರ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆರ್ ಶೋನ್ above the baseline and negative values are shown below the line, below the baseline. So this is an example which is quoted. Net profit, net loss. So sales minus cost is equal to profit. If sales exceed than cost, then we will get profit. If sales less than that of cost, then we get the loss. So therefore, positive values are shown above the baseline and negative values are shown below the baseline. So this is what an example we can understand clearly from this. Above the line and below the line. So yep, the positive values are shown on the above line and negative values are shown under the baseline. These are the various the types of bar diagrams which are commonly used in business or in other the departments like survey and other statistical the departments. So from these diagrams we can clearly understand the data which is shown, and we can analyze clearly. So even ordinary the man can easily understand just by an observing or just by seeing. So this is about the concept different types of the diagrams.